Ashley's Reads on Twitter or Of Fiction and Fantasy on Instagram. Today I am here to tell you a very belated to be read list and what I am doing for September. I filmed this already on time, early even, 2 weeks ago, and my camera did not alert me that it had shut off halfway through the video. So I was a little frustrated and I didn't film. So this month I am taking part in Becca's Bookoplathon. Essentially, she has made this Monopoly board into prompts for books. So you roll 2 dice just like you would in Monopoly, and every property space is a different prompt. Like for example, these, I think they're gray spaces. You have like a lowest rated book on your TBR list or a small book under 300 pages. And this is honestly one of my favorite, if not my favorite reading challenge that I've ever done, because you don't have to read 12 books or 72 books to finish the challenge. You roll however many that you want, plus however many doubles that you got. So I really like that, but it's also so detailed. And she has a Discord chat, and everyone there is so friendly and helpful and kind. And we even have like a split off Discord server of people that are starting out on BookTube, and I really need to watch everyone's. But it's so nice. I've just really enjoyed this month. There's also community spaces, and those are things like chance cards and community shelf cards. And then when you have this out, horizontally you can put the little cards as printouts that Becca made and cut them out and put the titles or the book prompts that you made yourself. And I did print these all out. This one is the community shelf. So it's prompts that you write yourself in case you land on this one. So this one is to read a self-help book of my choice. This did not go over so well because I left the board on the ground after I started playing, and Caroline ate all of these. So it's a good thing that I rolled in advance because I did not keep track of what the prompts or titles were. So, since this started September 1st, I already have my list made. I've already read some of them actually, but I'll just go over what I rolled for the month. So, my first one was a TBR game. So that is watching someone else play one of the different games to get a prompt for a book. And I watched Becca's Bookoplathon video herself, and I think she rolled young adult or young adult fantasy. So for that one, I picked The Midnight Bargain, and that is an ARC or Advanced Reader's Copy by C.L. Polk. I already read that. It was just on my Kindle. I don't know why I'm showing this to you, but I gave it a solid 3 stars. I thought it was a really fresh story, and I was impressed. It seemed like there was either a romantic or an asexual character as not the main character, but I would say like a secondary character or one of the main friends in the story. So I really like that representation, especially having it in a historical setting. That's not something that I've really seen before. So I really enjoyed that. And I thought that the plot, there was like a lot of modern feminist twist to it, and that was really interesting as well on a fairy tale twist. But I didn't think that the characters were super fleshed out. Like by the end of it, I really only knew that the main character had red hair and she was stubborn and wanted to be a magician, and that's pretty much the only thing I knew about her. I'm sorry. If anyone has the iPhone, they have the iOS 14 update, and I spent 3 hours this morning and this afternoon working on making it aesthetically pleasing. So I'll probably pop that in the corner and show you guys because I'm super proud, and I'm going to change it in like 2 weeks when it's October, but whatever. So I think I would recommend the book. I think it was good. I don't know that I would purchase it myself to reread. But the cover was gorgeous. I really liked it. That's what drew me to the book in the first place. Yeah. Then I got poll pick. So I did a poll on my Instagram and let my followers decide. I had 13 Rising by Romina Russell, Lobizona by Romina Garber, Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, and Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. And Crooked Kingdom won. I was very excited because I just read Six of Crows last month. Talk about a story with fleshed out characters. Oh my gosh. I love it. I'm always pleasantly surprised when I find a new favorite series, because after I find a favorite one, I always think it'll never get better than this. And then I find another one. So I'm enjoying that tremendously. This is the sequel to Six of Crows, and also, I forget what this is called. Maybe just painted edges. I'm not sure. I love it. I haven't read it yet. I just read Six of Crows as my last physical book, so I decided I would read another one in between, but I am very, very excited to get to this, and there's like 11 days left in this month, so it's gonna be a wild end. The third one is a standalone book. For that one, I was planning on reading Stolen by Lucy Christopher, but instead I got an audiobook arc of The Secret Garden, and that is, I can't remember, Harper Audio. That one, I still need to listen to it. It will be up next as my next audiobook. I have, for roll 4, Set in the Past, so I'm reading Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I've already watched all of Game of Thrones, so I would say this book's been a little bit difficult because I've watched season 1 2.5 times. Not because I wanted to necessarily, but because other people hadn't seen it before and wanted to start, obviously, from season 1. So that was fun, but I find that reading this book is incredibly repetitive since I've seen the plot happen so many times. But it is interesting to see a few very minor characters that either didn't have speaking roles or I just didn't notice them in the show. And I will say when the others are starting to appear where I am now, it's still very chilling. I'm still kind of scared a little bit, even though I knew to expect them. So I will give it that, and I will give that it's been interesting for how long the book is, and I still want to continue it, but it's not my favorite. There's not a lot of Marjorie in it yet, so. Book 5 is highest rated book on my TBR list. This one was The Greatest of Books by Rosa Marchisella on Smashwords. So it was rated 5 stars by 2 people, and I read it on my Kindle. I thought it was a full-size book, but it turns out it was 33 pages. So I couldn't count it for my words and whimsy criteria, which is medieval this month. And I am a ruthless royal, so that's been really fun. If you have Facebook and you want to join a fun reading challenge, then I would definitely recommend it, and I will link them below. But I decided to read the book anyway because I think it still counts for Bookoplathon. I was not impressed. I think I gave it 1 star? It was either 1 or 2. I read this quote, and I don't know who it's by, and this is not an exact quote, but it said, "Understand the power of lighthearted scenes." And it essentially went on to have the person describe or explain that you cannot just kill off characters or put your characters in turmoil and expect your audience to care, unless you give them lighthearted scenes first. Like, show the relationship being good and happy before you destroy it, or the person having a good life and going after their goals before you kill them. And this book did not have that. There was a plot, but I didn't really understand where it was going. I guess it was kind of an interesting twist at the end, but it felt like a novella in between books. And I'm really sorry if it is a novella and I just completely missed that somehow. But it was really just watching people die, people who were criminals of violent crimes, and then there's some kind of magical spell that you don't really understand, some elf who spends most of the book crying, and then a lot of animals died too, and I don't like reading things that have animal deaths in them whenever possible. So I did not enjoy that. That's just my personal opinion, but that was book 5. Book 6 is Inkheart by Cornelia Funke, and that is for a translated book because it was originally translated from German. I have not read that one yet, and I'm not sure if I will get to it, but I really hope to. The next roll, book 7, was another TBR game, and I can't remember the prompt that I picked, but it was also from Becca's Bookoplathon video. That one was Sky in the Deep, I want to say, by Adrienne Young. I listened to an audiobook of that, and for the first 30%, I was so bored. I was like, I have no idea why I'm listening to this audiobook of these people talking about their weapons and their moral code for the entire book. But after about 30%, I got hooked. I really cared about the characters. I really found all of the platonic and familial relationships to be refreshing and exciting, and I liked where it went because I didn't know what was gonna happen next, like who was gonna go where, or stay with who, or stay alive, and I loved it. And I'm very excited to read The Girl the Sea Gave Back. I think that's the sequel. And Fable. That one looks beautiful too. I really liked it. I listened to the audiobook and the narrator was lovely, and I already miss the characters. Hey, sorry about that. I lost video again. Awesome. So book 8 is Young Adult, and for that one, I originally picked The Bone Witch by Chupeco, which is a club read with Words and Whimsy this month. But I found this new to me app called RB Digital, and thanks to Michael, I have a free membership through the Army MWR, and I found Star Daughter there for a 0 wait time. I got to check it out immediately as, I think, yeah, as an audiobook, and I am trying to get the ebook. I've been waiting pretty much since release. Only one of my 3 libraries has it, and I even went in to the physical library that is about 10 minutes away from me and put in a request for them to get a copy, and they told me that they would work on it, but that it would be a minute. So I assumed I would definitely not get through the 16-week wait on Libby for it at the one library. And then I found it on RB Digital, and I checked it out immediately, and I get to start reading it tonight. So that is Star Daughter by Shveta Thakrar, and I am so excited. We got to actually interview her with Words and Whimsy, and getting to meet her she's so magical of a person and so inspiring. Like, she was telling us how she painted her bookshelves herself, and they're just like this beautiful, I think it was like a pink and purple or blue and purple, and she said that everyone who's an adult, just why not paint your bookshelves? Who's telling you that you can't? And I thought, why not paint my bookshelves or my nightstand? So I am gonna go buy paint for those. I'm very excited to do that. I'm just excited. Just everyone read Star Daughter. My next prompt was water on the cover. So I stretched it a little bit because there's water and clouds, and there's clouds on the cover of Fracture Me by Tahereh Mafi. That one is a novella. It's in between the second and third novels of the Shatter Me series, which I was not expecting to love as much as I do, but it's been one of my favorite series of the summer. Fracture Me goes into the perspective of Adam, and who recently split with Juliet in locations, and to not be spoilery, it's his perspective of what happens in the end of whatever the second book of Shatter Me is, which I can't think of. Unravel Me. It's his perspective of what was going on at the end of Unravel Me, and it was very interesting. I felt bad for not really liking Adam that much by the second book. He seemed kind of bland and wishy-washy, so reading his perspective really just solidified the fact that I think he's bland and wishy-washy and should not be with Juliet, but it's fine. And then the next one I got was a chance card. So again, Caroline ate those, but I got Thunderhead by, is it Aaron Shusterman? I'll put it up here. But I read, or I'm going to read Thunderhead as an ebook on my Kindle. We'll see if I get to that. I'm doubting that I will. That's probably the least likely for me to read this month. And then the last one is my penalty roll, so that's book 11. I got Becca to send me her list, and then I added some of mine to replace as well, because some of hers were just like specific to her TBR list. So for that one, I rolled a 9, which is to start a series, and that worked perfectly. I still got to keep the Bone Witch on my list now, and I think I'm about 41% of the way through. So I'm gonna try and power through to at least 75% by the end of this weekend. So yeah, that is my list of 11 books that I am attempting to read this month. For October, I happened to come across the Phoenix Writers Readathon, which is based on the series Crown of Feathers by Nicki Preto. That's pretty much it for me today. That will be the next video, talking about the Phoenix Writers Readathon, and if I manage to possibly finish the following 7 books that I listed for this month in 11 days, which is not happening unless I somehow develop superhuman reading powers. So we'll see. But thanks for checking in, guys. I hope that the rest of you are having a great month with your Bookoplathon TBR list, or whatever readathon or books that you are working on. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.